Good evening, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Now, today I just want you all to grasp, because it's a deep thing. Now, in the beginning was the Word, not Jesus, the Word. And a word is sound. And with sound, you have tone. This is the different sounds. And with tone, you have vibration. And vibration brings about energy and shape and form. So everything you need is in sound. And this is why it says, in the beginning was the Word. Because a word is nothing more than sound. You have many different tones of sound. We have many different words. So our words represent the different tones of sound. And these tones have vibration. And vibration is energy. And it moves. And it creates and takes shape and form. So it's a very deep thing that I want you all to grasp. This is how you get the atom, which is the first state of physical matter. From electrons moving. And this creates sound. And with sound you have tone. And with tone you have vibration. And this creates energy. And it shapes and forms. And this is an atom. Now grasp. This is like an atom. This is your proton, neutron. And these are your electrons. Circling the proton, neutron. Now, with movement, you get sound. And with sound, you get tone. With tone, you get vibration. And with vibration, you get energy. And as you can see, it's taking shape and form. So it's no longer three separate points, but it is just one. And it has dimension, in volume, in depth, and it creates perspective. It creates light, because this is not lit. So it's a deep thing that y'all have to grasp. Movement creates sound. And sound has tone. And tone has vibration. And vibration is energy. And it creates shape and form. Dimension. Volume. It is everything you need for creation. And this little toy is just a mimic. It's just like the atom. Except with the atom, the electrons don't all move the same way. Some will be moving that way. Some will be moving that way. Some will be moving that way. And when it moves in all those different directions, you get a force field. And this is where we get the globe or the round perception of the objects above, because they're moving, they're vibrating, they have sound. This little object is almost like Jupiter. It's a deep thing. But this is how we get our atmosphere. And it's energy. You see the depth, how it looks like two separate discs, how it looks like one flat disc. then it changes. You have so much dimension and volume within it. You hear the sound. I'm holding it. It has energy. It has a nice, when you're moving it like this, you can feel the pull. It pulls away. So it's moving in its orbit. When I move it this way, it's pulling it away from its orbit. You can feel the force. And the energy, it's a deep thing. People have to grasp when it says in the beginning was the Word. It's a deep thing. I know people say, oh, this is speaking of Jesus. But the Bible is speaking, when you're dealing with the beginnings, it is always speaking of science, geometry. Grasp. When you hear the Lucifer story, it is speaking of geometry and how conscious separates. And it's just 1 degree of conscious in a void. It has no movement, no experience. And as the conscious expands, you get 90 degree, then you get 180 degree, until you get a whole 360 of conscious. But the conscious will be stuck in that circle, so therefore you will need that spiral effect, where you have a 365 degree circle, which would be a spiral. And this allows it to keep expanding out, the conscious. So all knowledge and stories we have dealing with the creation, they are truly just geometry, mathematical equations, and the understandings of that, and how things take shape and form. You see the different 360 degree circles, you see the 180 degree, you see many different geometrical patterns. And if you had another one going another way, you would see more. It would create the globe effect. So it's a very deep thing. In this, moving like that, you get experience. It is experiencing. You have the duality when you get that, like night and day, the revolving effect. And that's experience. And with experience is wisdom. And this is how the conscious builds up through knowledge, our experience. And it's a deep thing because energy, our experience, is energy. So when we experience things, this is energy in itself. The experience is energy in itself. And you have to transfer that energy into wisdom and knowledge. It's a deep thing. All energy will create. So this moving is energy. And it creates. You see the shape, you see the form. It's magic. It's a beautiful thing. Life is magic. Dark magic and light magic. All mixed together. Just you being in existence, it's magic. It's a deep thing. When the sperm cell gets the egg, it is magic. It is chemistry. Science is magic. But we don't grasp. In today's times, tricks are magic. And chemistry and science is wisdom. But in the ancient times, science was magic. And everyone was not allowed to know science or chemistry, how things interact. Because this is how you get the abundance of things that we have. And it's a deep, scary thing. But energy or experience is energy, just like emotions. This is energy. And all of this manifests itself in a physical shape and form. This is why we must be careful of the words we speak, because word is sound. It has tone. With the tone, it has vibration. And this is energy. This is why when you speak certain words to people, you get certain reactions, because they receive that energy. And it's like a chemical reaction to their being. That energy connects with their energy. And it's a deep thing. We have to learn and understand energies, because all is energy. You moving around through the day, this is energy. Your thoughts, the energy. You haven't pushed them out, meaning you haven't given them movement to take shape and form. But the thought is like this. And once it's thought, it exists. And once it's pushed out, it will take its shape and form, and it will chemically react with whatever's around it. So it's a very deep thing we have to grasp. Words are important. The energy you push out, not only will it be out, but it will come back to you, because all is revolving. So not only will you affect others with your energy, but your own energy will come back to you. It's a deep thing. If a man hurts a man, now he puts that energy out into the world. And others will see, and others will adopt that, and they will hurt others, and this will all eventually come back around to where that man will be hurt. It's like Cain. Cain was eventually killed by his own relative, the same way he killed his own relative. So all is revolving. And it's a very deep thing that we have to grasp. This is why it says, in the beginning was the Word. And this is why it says, or Jesus, so to say, said, if you think it, you've already committed the sin. Because the moment you think a thing, you've already done it in your mind. Meaning, you thought it, so it exists. So let's say you think, I'm going to kill someone. It has been done in the unphysical sense, because it is thought. Once it is said, that energy is pushed out. It will take shape and form. This is why we have to be careful of the things that we think, the things that we speak, because this is all the process of creation. Grasp. The things you think, you push them out when you speak it, and this is how creation begins, and it takes shape and form. Your words, they move like energy, and they come in contact with whoever you're speaking to or whoever's listening, and that energy chemically reacts with all that is. Some people may do your words. So it's a deep thing how energy works. It will manifest itself once it's pushed out, because it has all it needs to become physical. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. We have to begin to understand negative energy, positive energies, and how these things work. It's a deep thing. All the information we have in life, it boils down to science, geometry, math. It's like we've all heard, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Now, right is positive, wrong would be negative. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And it's a deep thing, because according to math, 2 negatives make a positive. It makes a right. If I do something negative to you, and you do something negative back to me, does it not cancel out? It's fair. It is as if nothing happens. It becomes positive if you look at it from that perspective. So even life experiences are the things we do in life. They will always result back to math. If I slap you, you'll slap me back. In this, nothing truly happened. We both slapped each other, but I can't really say anything, and neither can you. It's a deep thing. It becomes what it was before we slapped each other. It's still fair. It's still positive, so to say. It's a deep thing. But all in life is science and math, and we just have to get an understanding of things. Now, a man who understands geometry, science, chemistry, he has to put these things into words for others to understand. So this is how we get all the text and different things that we have breaking down creation. But it's all a matter of knowing and just understanding. So this little widget toy holds so much knowledge and information, but it's all on what one knows. But the toy is a deep geometrical, magnetic device. It has to do with magnetism. It has to do with perception and how the unphysical can take shape and form. So it's a deep thing. It's nothing but 3 little circles, but they create so much shape, form, dimension, depth, volume. You hear the sound. You feel the vibration. It's so much with it once it's moving. So it's a deep thing. Like I said, movement creates sound, and sound creates vibration, and vibration is energy, and energy will transfer into shape and light and so many things. You see how it's manipulating the camera and the light effect of it? Because movement, the longer it spins, it will build up on its energy. It will go faster and faster. If this toy was life, it's like a tornado. It picks up. As it attracts other things, it picks up speed. It picks up energy. It takes more shape and form. It becomes so powerful. It's a deep thing. But I can teach through anything because I learn from the life. This is why I understand books, different texts. You have to understand life. You have to understand science is life. Chemistry is life. How things chemically react with one another. So it's the same with the person. You have a wife. You love her. This is nothing more than creation. Grasp. When you're dealing with the atom, this is physical matter. Now the atom is electrons, protons, and neutrons. The protons and neutrons are stationary. They don't move, so to say. They just there. And the electrons, they circle the proton neutrons every which way. They don't follow one another like this, but they all go their individual way in their own path. And this creates the shape and body that is the atom. So those 3 things intermingling and the electrons circling it, it creates shape, form, vibration, light. It's a deep thing. But when you're dealing with the proton-neutron, you have the up and down quark. This is what creates the proton-neutron. The up quark and the down quark. And this is energy. And it takes shape and form. But the electron is the electrical charge or the light. the life force in a sense. So when it comes in contact, it brings what is in the void, which would be the proton, neutron, up and down quarks, many different energies, so to say. Not energies, but many different materials are within the void. And the movement of the electron gets things moving, and things begin to come together that would just be stuck still in the void. And it gets it coming together in like a tornado in movement. It's a deep thing. But like I said, I can teach from anything I learned from the life. This is why learning from the life is very important. Very important. You can learn from books, but you have to understand that books are nothing more than another man's thoughts in his understanding. When you read books and you're taught by someone else, you're learning their understandings. But what you want to understand is life. So you have to learn in that same sense from life to get understanding of life. So it's a deep thing. Learning from men, this is influence. This will interfere with your perception of a thing. Man tells you, hey, knowledge is flat. So you see it that way. But if you are on your own thoughts, you may see knowledge like that, with depth and volume. And it's a deep thing. So we just have to understand that learning from other people, having a teacher, and all of this is cool. Reading books and scholarship, this is all beautiful and fun. But you have to indulge in the life and learn for self. This is what you was given intellect for. To have your own relationship with life, take your own course and path to become one with the life. So you can move with the life as opposed to moving against it. When you move against it, this creates friction. And what happens? That things slow down. So we move against, and then things become slow. And we lose that's my point. You want to roll with life. Once you start moving against it, you slow up your flow. This is why life is so hard for us. Because people are not getting their own understandings directly from life. Therefore, they can understand and flow with life their way. We're all taught, oh, this is the way. So everyone's moving in one way, thinking off one conscience. This takes away from individuality. This takes away from many different paths. You have to grasp. Wide is the path to destruction. Narrow is the way to salvation. But the only way to salvation, you have to let people start off on their own wide path of destruction, pushing them into the narrowness. But it's a deep thing. People are not acquiring true understanding. People are being told and taught. This interferes with learning. You have to let people learn on their own. I teach y'all, but I always say I learn from life, and you must do the same. Use me as a guide. This is why I say I'm the servant. I'm not a master teacher. I'm not your master. I'm not your leader. I don't tell you what to do. That's not what I'm here for. So if that's what you're looking for, you're on the wrong channel. I'm here to teach you to learn for self. The same way I do, this is superior to what people are being taught. So we have master teachers out here, but they're taught. They're teaching people to be taught. They're not teaching people to spread their wings, because steel sharpens steel. I want you as wise as me. You following me around saying, hey Solace, the sperm is... You have to learn life yourself and grasp. Simple. That way we can have a discussion. and iron can sharpen iron, and that chemistry can create more. If you just rebutting what I'm saying and what I told you, and all you can do is see things from my perception, then I can't do anything with you. We can't chemically react. You can just be like a shadow. And this doesn't benefit me. Master teachers do not realize this. When they have their flock of sheep following them around, regurgitating what they said, they stunt their own growth because they're supposed to be raising their students up to be higher than themselves. Therefore, they can pull themselves up higher than the students. It's a give and take thing. I want to raise minds that follow me higher than me. That way I can pull myself up the same way they pulled themselves up on me. And we can keep ascending. It's a deep thing. This is why I say I'm the servant. Because this is true knowledge. I'm not here to master over you. Knowledge is indefinite. It's infinite. I could never have enough knowledge. And it's a deep thing. In that I know all. You have to grasp. It doesn't matter if you're down here and I'm all the way up here in knowledge. Knowledge is infinite. Knowledge is revolving. In a perspective of eternity, we're both nowhere. Grasp. We're both done. But in perspective to one another, you may be done in comparison to me. But in comparison to knowledge in itself, in comparison to thought, which is thought, in itself, I'm no wiser than you. We're both done. So it's a deep thing. If you think, damn, Solace is so wise, I've never seen anyone in life wiser than him. Just imagine how wise wisdom in itself is. It's a deep thing. Every aspect of life is real. It's a living thing, or it would not be in existence. If you see that men are wise, wise is a living being. So you have to grasp. If you see men murdering, murdering is a living being. It is a real entity. So you have to grasp. If you think murder is horrible, imagine what the entity is. If you think I'm wise, or a man is wise, or this thing is wise, imagine what the entity, which is wisdom, or what the Comedics would call thought. Imagine that. It's a deep thing y'all have to grasp, but all is energy. We have a hard time understanding how the unphysical becomes physical. How can words create physical things? Because word is sound. And when you're dealing with sound, this is the beginnings of all. This creates all. Movement creates sound. Just air. Air creates movement. Movement creates sound. Sound is vibration. Vibration is energy. And energy will create shape and form. And the more things interact, because this is the atom, you have a bunch of atoms. They begin to interact with one another, you get more. More shape and form. So if there was three of these together, going in different directions, you would see a globe in so many different shapes and patterns within it when I turn it. You would see so much more than just this. So this is my point. Sound is all you need when you're dealing with creation. Right. Before a man builds a building, he thinks it, draws it out. Then he speaks it to those who are helping him build it. And so it is done when they finish. The power of sound, the power of thought. It's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. You don't need a physical thing for these things. These things create the physical. So y'all like to say, man, what created the first being? Conscious. This comes first. Just like oxygen and hydrogen. It's invisible to you. But it created the physical water you see. It comes first. The invisible is superior to the visible. But the invisible is not truly invisible. It's a matter of size. It's a matter of perception. When I say size, if something is too small for you to see, it's invisible. Atoms are invisible to you, but they're not invisible. They're just too small for you to see. So nothing is invisible. Invisible means it doesn't exist. So you have to grasp. Nothing is truly invisible. It's just a matter of, can you see it? Just like up above. Up above is a matter of perception. You're too small, so your perception of it is different than what it is. If you're having trouble with understanding what I mean by perception, this, you see it. This is how you perceive it. When I move it, the perception changes. It looks completely different. It is something else. This is what I mean by perception. They are separate, 3 separate circles. Upon movement, they become one. One thing. But they're truly still separate. But they act as one thing. So it's a deep thing. I was looking for something like a crumb or something to throw at it so you can see. The lighter, which is big, it won't come through it and penetrate me. See? It throws it back out. So it creates energy. It creates a force field just from the movement. The wind continuously revolving in that way, it creates a force field of energy, physical energy that will affect you physically. So it's a deep thing we have to grasp. All starts out unphysical. All starts out as thought, then sound, which is, before you get the sound, you get the movement. When you get the sound, you get the vibration. When you're speaking, you feel the vibration in your throat, your chest, if you ever pay attention to it. When you speak, you feel the vibration. This is the energy. You are pushing out what will manifest itself. So it's a very deep thing we have to grasp. I truly don't want people to get lost in debates, because when y'all try to debate me or try to find ways to debunk my teachings, you interfere with your self-grasping. There's much to grasp. There's much to understand. If you don't understand something that I'm saying, it may be because you just don't understand enough things. I try to keep everything simple. Sometimes that may be the problem. Person doesn't understand the depth of knowledge I have. But I know more things than we have words for. I know things we don't have words for. I understand things that I can't explain because we don't actually have words for it, for me to break it down to you. So I try to explain everything I know through the words we have. Because my knowledge comes from observation. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Nothing is being told to me in the sense that y'all know, meaning words and speaking. It's revealed in a sense to me. So you have to be able to see. It's a deep thing. But knowledge is a tricky thing. It's an interesting thing. It's a never-ending thing. And you have to just take your steps. Understanding every time you get farther ahead in knowledge, more knowledge is created. Every time a baby is born, a whole universe, that's a whole universe, a whole world being born with micro-life within it. And that micro-life has micro-life within it. And there's so many levels of existence within that one being, which is a baby. So much different life and so much different existence. Realms of living. All within that baby, just being born. So it's a deep thing one must grasp. Especially when dealing with the reality of the life that we live. It's like I said, this is hell. And you're trapped in the vortex. Or the physical, the darkness. Your body is that darkness. And this is why a hand casts a dark shadow when in light. That's why. Because that's what it is. It's darkness. The light is the spirit. You can see it in the eyes. The life force, the light of the body, is trapped in the darkness. It's trapped because of the vortex of energy, the movement. This has to do with the 7th chakra and the 7 tones of creation. Like I said, words is sound, and sound is vibration, and each chakra point has its tone. This is why you have the 7 tones of creation, and you have the 7 chakra. And the 7 chakra all make their tones. And this creates that vortex of energy that runs up and down the spine, from the root to the crown. Sort of like that. So it's a deep thing. And that's basically, the 7 chakra, the 7 tones of creation, the 7 deadly sins, the 7 heavens. This is all one understanding. I know we know them in today's times as separate, but it's just one understanding. Now, I did a video previously to this explaining that, how they all correlate, and it's just one understanding. So you all can go check that out. It's a very deep thing. I'm going to end this video now. Hopefully I'll be able to sit down and meet with some of the other teachers and have a lot of discussions. I want to build with brothers. I want to start to bring things together. Because that's what I'm here for. Bring young Pharaoh and Sonetta and Seti and bring everything back together. But I got to shake things up first because everyone thinks they're extra smart. So it's a deep thing. Feathers must be ruffled. Men must understand. No one's wiser than the life. And I'm the representative of the life. Grasp. So no one's wiser than me. And if we have to have a struggle for people to grasp this, then that's what's going to have to happen. But all the teachers will have to eventually face this fact that we got to learn from life. And what I'm saying is what's going to go. Period. Like I said, it can be a struggle. If men want to say, no, what he's saying is wrong, then it will be a struggle. And my knowledge is superior. I don't care what you think. When you're in my face, you're going to learn. I can teach you with a branch. I can teach you with a lighter about shadows and light. Darkness and light. Spirits and bodies. I can go in depth, day and night. Like, the knowledge is deep, but everyone must grasp. Men must learn they're not as wise as they think. This way we can all come together. Because as of now, all the teachers are never going to come together because they all think they're so wise. And it's a deep thing because there's so much wisdom that they're missing. And this is why I do videos, so that people can grasp. You can always be wiser. This is all play to me. It's child's play. All the 700 and something videos I probably got 800 videos. I don't even know. And I did this in like what? January 2018 will be 2 years I've been teaching online. I got 800 videos, probably 1,000 I'll have then. Breaking things down that men struggle with. I break things down that people haven't even begun to think about. Like, oh, I never even thought about that. So, like I said, this is play to me. So it's not even real. Like, there's no struggle for me to do this. I know people be wondering, man, when is he going to fall off? He be breaking things down so deep. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not even spreading my wings because y'all don't grasp. Y'all don't grasp play. This is like Michael Jordan just shooting around bullshitting. I'm just bullshitting around with y'all until y'all begin to grasp that I'm wise so that we can move ahead and people can really start to grasp deep levels of understandings of life. Forget a secret society. I'll take you deeper. It's a deep thing, but it's your main man Solace, the humble wise servant, here to serve you with knowledge, give and receive, pay your dues, $5 monthly donations, or dues, whatever you want to call it, because balance must be acquired for the knowledge to be truly understood. It's a deep thing. If your spirit is not pure, if your perception of life is not pure, and you're all influenced and negative and you're looking to take, you will acquire knowledge in that way. Grasp how deep perception is. We think knowledge is what it is, but it will always be different depending on who receives it. Grasp. I can have a pure spirit. You can have an ugly spirit. We can both learn the same thing, but it will reflect physically different. You'll do something completely different with it. We can both learn how to smelt iron. That's melting down iron and making arts and crafts, metals and things. We can both learn this knowledge. I have good spirit, so I smelt metals, and I make jewelry and things like this. Jewelry. I make little tools so that we can have electricity and things like this, nuts and bolts to hold things together. Now you learn the same knowledge, smelting metal, but your spirit is ugly and negative. So you make swords and guns. So you grasp my point? Your perception or your spirit is how you will receive knowledge. I give y'all this knowledge, and you a negative, bad, unbalanced spirit, you're going to push that knowledge out in that way, not the way that you was given it. So it's a deep thing. This is why I encourage people to learn balance, understand, give and receive. You put a seed in the earth gives you back something. Even the earth abides by the universal law of give and receive, balance. If someone gives you knowledge how to grow and plant a seed, and you plant a seed, and the earth, being as though you gave the earth the seed, the earth going to give you back more, because the earth obeys the laws. A man will grow what he got back, and he won't share it with the person that gave him the knowledge. Grasp that. A man gives you knowledge on how to plant a seed. You give that seed to earth, and earth gives you back in abundance. But you don't think, let me share it with the man that gave me the knowledge. Let me do like earth did. Let me obey the same laws that the life did. Being as though I gave to the earth and the earth gave back to me, let me give some of this back to the brother that gave me the knowledge to even do this. So it's a deep thing, and this is where we are in today's times. People don't even want to give seeds back to earth. And then they wonder why we short on food and all this foolish things they speak of. Because people are unbalanced. They just want to take. They just want to receive. Nothing is being given back. Everyone's concerned with receiving. The aspect of servitude and being a servant, serving others, this is lost. If everyone had that mentality to serve, we will all be good and have more than we need because everyone's serving the next person. Therefore, everyone's served. It's a deep thing. There's too much to be learned. And most men start off so far on the wrong path, by the time they uninfluence their brain of all the influence, they'll be dead by then. It's a deep thing. But I'm trying. I'm pushing out the energy. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm trying to ruffle up the energies, get people riled up, ruffle feathers, because this people got to learn. It's like Brahman Shiva. You got to destroy to create. We going the wrong way. That way got to be destroyed so that a new understanding can be understood. So a lot of teachers that y'all like, their information is going to dwindle away. But it's good because it gives room for new, more sufficient understanding. And this is what we all should be striving for. A man shouldn't be holding on to his ego. He should be holding on to the information that he can acquire no matter what. If a man tells me, I found someone wiser than you, the first thing I'm going to say is, bring them here. See, I'll say I'm the wisest brother on the planet. I'm wiser than all the teachers. But the teachers don't say, bring him here then. Because wisdom is not what they truly want. They just want fame and money and whatever comes with it. But the wisdom they don't want. The knowledge they don't want. But if you tell me I found someone wiser than you, first thing I'm going to say is, bring them here. I want to meet them. Because wisdom is all that I care about. So if a person's wiser than me, I have to see this. And then I have to learn if they truly are from them, what they know. It's a deep thing. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because people are not even giving themselves a chance to learn in today's times. It's a deep thing. But it's your main man Solace, the wise, groovy, humble servant of the life. Y'all take care, you hear?